Okay, welcome back, everybody. And another Friday show. And we got Ozzy here. Yeah, he's staying. So that's okay. That's okay. He's a good guy. I've been having a little trouble with him, though. He just keeps pulling, and it's so annoying. Lay down. Lay down. He doesn't mind. So I don't know. There's doggy boot camps and stuff, but oh boy, they're expensive. So it's going to have to hunker down. And I am on the schedule now where I write a story no, lay down every day on Facebook. So if you want to go over there and read my stories, yesterday was more about the coming war and how putting it into perspective as to the feeling of it and the just watching everything go down, waiting. And so, yeah. But anyway, I'm going to be doing that until September 1st. It's like practice writing, and then starting on the book and editing. And yeah, it's going to be a project, but I'm going to be working like a job on that book 8 hours a day. I'll be doing looking for agents, literary agents, and since I want to go into a big publisher, that's what you have to do. Lay down all the way. Lay down, lay down. See what I mean? Anyway, so that's coming up. But there's this other thing too, which is kind of funny. I have raccoons. They're my upstairs neighbors, and they're all in the rafters and stuff, but they're not always there. So last week I was supposed to have like the pest control people come over, and they never showed, and that was why we had to do a Thursday show, but they never showed on Friday. So next Monday they're gonna come up and set traps and come in every day checking the traps. So I don't know. I hope they give me a time as to when they're coming in. So next week might be a little jumbled, but I will try my very best to be on at 2 o'clock on Friday. And then if they don't get it, then they're gonna have to do something else. So but they're very, very noisy, and I'm sure that there's a lot of stuff that they're doing up there that isn't good for the property. And otherwise, I would have been like, they're cute. They are cute, but they can be very destructive and mean. So, anyway, that's what's going on. And so next week, let's just plan on plan on Friday. Unless I hear something, I hope they give me a time when they're coming over because that's like waiting all day. That's what I did last Friday is just wait all day. Nobody showed. So, and every day, and I can understand that because a poor little animal, if they get caught up there, it gets hot. So, see what happens, but we'll do my very best. And today we're going to be going over just things. We were going over we were supposed to go over the Trumps today, but the thing is I got a lot of requests to go over the end times, like the things that I saw, and then go into the Millennium. So I think some people are getting a little bored with us continuing to go over the same thing over and over. So I just want to make everybody happy. And it is, it's very interesting. I mean, every time when I'm going into the Bible, I always find something new that I could talk about and stuff. So Let's see. Uh, see if chat is on. I want to say hello to everybody and welcome those people back that were new last week. And that was pretty awesome to get more people in here, which I don't know why. Well, I do know why. Why this channel has just, basically have been suppressed so hard that it's even hard to find this channel. So, and then it's just really, I mean, it is pushed down so hard. Like I had said before, I had like 10,000 subscribers. And I had even more than that before, but this was a breaking point where I had the 10,000 subscribers and boom, just all in like a week, 500 dropped, then another 500. I mean, every day until I was left with like 100 subscribers. So I built it up this far. I don't know, how far, how more longer it's going to last, but it's been a battle. Hi, Teresa. You're from Florida. That's awesome. I love this tropical type, San Antonio is pretty close to the beach, so I get, the just the weather. I mean, you can also go over to like Houston and that's even closer, but it's more of a blue city, which I wanted to. It's hot and muggy. Yeah. Boy, when I first stepped in to Texas, I was like, because I'm from Oregon, that really tires you out. I mean, you could just go for a little walk and it just exhausts you. So I'm kind of happy that we're going into the fall and it's going to be hopefully a little nice. I don't know how it is in Florida, how it is in the winter, but I would think it's a little better. But yeah, that can get to you really bad. Let's see. I was going to go into Daniel really quick and just go over chapter 11 in this one. Yeah. So, Daniel chapter 11, and this really talks about what comes up and then kind of some detailed information. So you need to know really what you're looking at. And it's not that hard when you like discover that it's in an area, a designated area. Like Babylon basically will take over the whole world. But the location, especially in some of these um, different books, will concentrate on Israel and some like the 10 tribes, some the world type thing. So I'm just going to go to Daniel chapter 11, verse 20. All that prior to that is all history. So this is what we need to look for and really to just evaluate it. Okay. So then shall stand up in his estate. So let me go to 19. Then he shall turn his face toward the fort of his own land, but he shall stumble and fall and not be found. That's, that area in itself really hasn't been built up enough yet. But this, then shall stand up in his estate a raiser of taxes. Look at all the things that are going on now. Hyperinflation is a type of tax, but it's also stealing. It's taking all the wealth from the America, from everywhere else, And this is where it's going to, the New World Order. Okay, raise your taxes in the glory of the kingdom. The kingdom is the New World Order. Right now, you see the rise of the New World Order. You see the tyranny. You see just really coming down on the people. This isn't the real New World Order. What it is just getting people to comply. What comes next uh, is more. Um, there's that timeline I was telling you about. You've got the Civil War that's going to be happening in America. So after the American Civil War, this is when you watch for the real New World Order to come up. What you see right now is like the dynasty of these old farts who want to stay in control. And even when Saint gets here, he's going to toss a bunch of people out who won't go along with it. So here he goes. But within a few days he shall be destroyed, neither in anger nor in battle. So this person, I'd say maybe it actually is Satan the Antichrist, but in his position before the tribulation, he's going to be behind the scenes. And it's just a thought, or you could look for a type of uh, like the Pope. After the American Civil War, the Pope comes up, and he's like a world leader then, not only for religion, but the world. He's spokesperson, so it could be him. Okay, so he'll step down, and in his estate shall stand up a vile person to whom they shall not give the honor of the kingdom, but he shall come in peaceably and obtain the kingdom by flatteries. Okay, this is opposite of war, and I know a lot of people think there's going to be nuclear war. No, just the opposite. Peaceably and obtain by flattery. So these next chapters or the next verses explain that. And with the arms of a flood, it's going to sweep everything, shall be overflown from before him. And this is the change. Here it comes. And shall be broken. Yea, also the prince of the covenant. So you can look at Revelation 9, 27, 26, and 27 to kind of see how that comes into play. You're going to have, before then, you'll have the first four seals coming in. In a weird way, seal number one is just telling you there's a fake Christ coming in, and he's going to say he is God, that he is Christ's return. And then, but behind that, before he says that, things are going to be building up. So, and after the League made, this is him in Iran and Iraq. So the flooding of his ideas and working with people, bringing in this peace. And after the League of Nations made with him, he shall work deceitfully. Now he's going to make Iran and Iraq fight so that he can do this peace deal. For he shall come up and shall become strong with the small people. Who are these small people? All through the Bible, who are these small people? These are the Kenites. This is Satan's seed himself. And these are the leaders. Now you see the tyranny going on. Well, they'll be whipped into shape because they'll see that this is their Christ. Okay, it's not ours though. He shall enter peaceably even upon the fattest places of the province. So this is, in the Middle East, going into Jerusalem area, and he shall do that which his fathers have not done, nor his father's father. He shall scatter among them the prey and spoil and riches. So, what we see right now is a lot of theft, the people being really just having the burden of all these taxes and stuff. He is going to start giving that out. Yea, and he shall forecast his devices, or he'll plot against the strongholds, even for a time. So the last thing that is needing peace will be the Iran and Iraq. But see, he's behind there, and I'm pretty sure that the church itself, that the Roman Catholic Church, and my idea of that is the Church of Pergamus. Okay, this is comes along also with the deadly wound. And he shall stir up his power and his courage against the king of the south with a great army. And the king of the south shall be stirred up to battle with a very great and mighty honor or army. But he, the king of the south, shall not stand, for they shall forecast, or they'll forecast devices against him. So you have Satan in there making them fight. And, you know, whenever you get any kind of discourse and stuff, it's not necessarily uh, evil. But when you see it like we're seeing now, as far as these different groups and just being lawless and stuff like that, that is evil spirits. Yea, they that feed of the portion of his meat shall destroy him, and his army shall overflow, and many shall fall down and slain. So, they're like doing these different plots and making this just irritating the situation. And both these kings' heart shall be to do mischief. Um, Ra, which is a way of it's a type of sin. So, they're trying to take over. Look at, what's going on now with how these evil leaders are trying to take over. So it's going to be kind of like that, like um, they want all the glory for themselves, but they can't work it out. And they shall speak lies at the table. Satan's going to be sitting right in there, de facto, trying to coordinate all this. But it shall not prosper, for yet the end shall be at the time appointed. So it was plotted and to break it. And this is kind of where you're going to see the wound to the beast head. It is the system itself. They'll have it basically built up, but it is these two kings that are not going to want to go with it. And it probably stems even from the religious point. And you look at the Taliban now, taking over, and it can be just that quick. So, just watch. Then shall he return into his land with great riches, and his heart shall be against the holy covenant. This is Satan. He has got these people to fight, and now what he wants most is to sit in Jerusalem claiming to be God. And he shall do exploits and return to his own land. So at this point, look at the Middle East, this man coming up. And and he's doing all these deals and stuff, and you'll see him with the Roman Catholic Church. So it'll be very interesting to see that come down. And really, what I saw with this is that these people are fighting, and then there's like, but Satan, he's basically in this white looking church, stone, old building, and he is in there and it's very secretive and hush hush. And the church keeps going in there and they come out. Not very many people, though, it is just a few select. And then you have this earthquake that comes. And at that time, have the wound to the beast head and it starts out like this and then their heads fall off. It is graphic, but it's just saying that that sort of fighting was caused by Satan himself. So now he's going to be coming in to fix it. So you get that. You have the Roman church, the lady that was dressed in blue standing in front of me holding a baby. Representing the church. Well, Satan then comes out to the crowd and all these people fighting, and he begins to speak. And all of a sudden, they all turn their clothes and stuff before were, different colors and stuff, and then it turns black, and they were all one. You see, which you can see as far as what's going on with the Taliban and stuff. It's just a lot of tyranny. And but these people will agree, and you'll see Egypt coming in. They've always been a base nation. They've been promised that, but even they will join in this one world order. Okay. At the time appointed, he shall return and come towards the south, but it shall not be as the former or as the latter. So, you've got all these people coming together. He's doing a lot of preaching and stuff. The world has been unified, but now it's that build up to say, I am God. For the ships of Chittim, this is when he actually says he is God. This is the point where you're going to be delivered up at some time during that time. See, for the ships of Chittim shall come against him. When you're delivered up, the Holy Spirit, speaks through you. It breaks that evil binding spell that's on the people. And he shall be grieved and return and have indignation against the holy covenant. That's God's people. The lady that rides on the beast is the church. That's why she's called the whore after that. So shall he do, he shall even return and have intelligence with them that forsake the holy covenant. So you're going to have the media, probably different sorts of outlets, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have like television, some sort of communication where you're going to know what's going on at that time. But, and also in that time, how will people know when we're delivered up? And how does that break that spell if you can't see it or hear it? So that's why I say it'll probably be televised, and there will be a lot of people probably in itself coming over to Jerusalem since they think he is Christ. Okay, and arms shall stand on his part. So go over to Revelation chapter 13:7. That's the New World Order. Everybody's coming together. and arms shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and shall take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall place the abomination that maketh it desolate. That is Satan himself claiming to be God. When you see that, know that Christ is going to be returning soon. But the whole world, this is how you'll be delivered up, because the world goes along with it and you won't. And at that time, we'll be returning back to where we are supposed to go. So when you walk into your town or wherever you're going to be going to, you weren't there for the buildup. See what I mean? You're walking into that. And that's like they're looking at you, and um, mainly your family and friends, but they'll have people watching. It's a policing. Are you doing this or that? How else do you think that they'd be able to control who buys and sells? How, you know, at first you'll be accepted, but you're not going to go along with it. So they're going to be like, hey, you need to, even your family, like if you need food or whatever, look, see what's happening now, even. You can't go into stores in some places. You can't, go into government buildings with this jab. And so what we're seeing now is an example of what's coming. And as far as a physical mark, I don't know. I didn't see a physical mark. I just saw a more spiritual thing. And, you know, as you grow and get stronger in the word, your spiritual discernment is going to get like hyper focused, and you'll be able to see a lot more things. But since these people who are going along with the beast system, they'll have that satanic type of bind over them, and they'll be able to point you out. So, but the abomination that make it desolate is Satan. So he comes first claiming to be God, and the world ushers him in like, yay, the church, everybody starts going along with that. And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall be corrupt by flattery. So there's no war, you know, as even right now, I mean, you're not directly forced, with a gun to your head, take the V. No, it's going to be very similar if you want to um, participate and be in society, be able to go places. And what I saw with this V thing is that they're just going to push it more. And those people on government benefits and stuff, you don't have to take it. But if you don't take it, then you will not receive your benefit. So I think a lot of people, they're not ready to to have supplies and things like that. And what happens to mortgages and things like that if you can't pay that? So I think a lot of people are going to take it then. I think the majority of people will. I even saw myself, and it was more of a push, like, you can't live. You see what I mean? I mean, not saying that I will, but I was shown scenarios and things like that. So that's why I've stocked up. That's why I'm just, the things that were tying me down are gone. And, you know, what are we going to do as far as just hanging in there. And that's really what it comes down there, hanging in there. But really, 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 it's not the mark of the beast, but it's the prelude to it. But the people that do know their God, Yahweh or Elohim, shall be strong and do exploits. So while these 7,000 fallen angels are going around preaching, Satan himself calling himself God preaching, and then you got the 10 kings who are going to have the authority over different areas in the world. These people being delivered up all over the world, that is their exploit with the Holy Spirit. You know, it will break the chains of those who are seeing Satan as Christ. And many, 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 many people are going to change and say, oh, I was fooled. And they will repent and go back. But there, it goes for both sides. I mean, people will make the decision at that point where they'll worship Satan. Is that who they want to go with, or with Christ? I mean, there's no other choices. And people that are in the middle, the lukewarm, they're really going to have to, think very hard. And those people probably are the ones that get into the millennium by the skin of their teeth, just like. So you really want to be prepared, but also, help people to understand what's coming because, even though that they may have blinders on now, they will remember the seeds that you planted and it will help them later on. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many, yet they shall fall by the sword and by flame, by captivity, and by spoil many days. So it's basically just this barrage. You're going to have all this confusion and things like that, is questioning, is this really Christ? And that's going to really upset Satan a lot. So he's going to be pushing even more. Now, when they shall fall, they shall be helping with a little help. Okay, so this is the 7,000 very elect who will be delivered up. God, even at this point, will help you if you've had too much. It's like, no, you don't even have to ask. He's like, gives you that strength to brush yourself off and get back up and do what you're supposed to do. So you're not alone. He's watching you. He's making sure, that, your one purpose in life is to do that. So, it isn't all with this killing, and it's a very spiritual war, you know. So, and even now you can see, you know, just how the two sides are really becoming divided, and how those taking the V just really feel strongly about it, and everybody has to go along, and even if you presented any kind of facts and, researchers talking about, they won't listen. It's just completely blind. And is that a spiritual kind of setting or what? I believe that that the Holy Spirit is opening up your eyes and revealing the truth to you so that you can hear and see it. And those without that help just go into the oblivion. But many shall cleave to them with flatteries. So they, the Antichrist, how many times will they have to hear the truth? I don't know. But, well, you're such a good person. Um, He's just a wonderful person, and he'll be very nice He'll be like, "Oh, I love you," and all that sort of thing, and it'll fool people. No, not everybody who smiles is really smiling, you know? And some of them of understanding shall fall, to try them, to purge, and to make them white, even to the time of the end, because it is yet for a time appointed. So, for the 7,000, it is not going to be easy. And then you have those at the same time, the 144,000, who their eyes are now open and they're like, oh, and then you have those in the middle who are like, which way do I go? So Satan will these people will be clinging onto him because one, life is really good if you're in it, and you get all these different rewards, and you just believe the lie. And you know, you it'll just be a very hard time for the 7,000. But I wanted to mention this. In Revelation, I believe it's Revelation 20, but it talks about God who's up by the throne, and the covenant of the ark is up there. Do you know what's up there? So you got the rod, you have the Ten Commandments, and you have the manna. I believe that manna will be sprinkled out for any of those who are needing to have that sort of food. I mean, that's why I say at this time, yeah, stock up because we aren't yet in the end, but he will also be there for you. So, but do what you can. I mean, there's many instances in the Bible where, they only had just a little bit of food, and that that lasted for the whole time. Ooh, I saw lightning and there's thunder. Ooh, it gets pretty wild out here. But anyway, and the king shall do according to his will. So this is the little horn, this is Satan to his will. And he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every God. God, Elohim. God himself. He's going to claim to be the return of Christ, but better. I'm so loving. I love you all. Flatteries. Oh, you need, a car. Here you go. No, everything will be given to you. But if you're not following that, they won't like you. And shall speak marvelous things against the God. Ella. You have Yahweh Yah, and then you have God Elohim, and God is El. Oh my gosh. Did you guys hear that? It's pretty, it just like came up. Wow. Okay. Against the God of gods, and shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished, for that is determined shall be done. So everything that is written in this book will be done. Okay. Everything. So you see the signs, you just go with it. Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of women. The God of his fathers with a big G. So, like, saying that he is Christ's return, blah, blah, blah type of thing. But he's not regarding that. He's got his own plan, nor the desire of women. And that is kind of written funny, but it is the idols of women. You have Astra, and these different types of fertility gods, nor regard any God. No God, a big G-O-D, no God, because he's saying he's God. For he shall magnify himself above all. Okay, so when you see this, Christ never did that. He always talked about his Father. This is a sign that you need to look for. If this angelic being claiming to be God, just know that is fake. But in his estate shall he honor the God of forces. He's superstitious. And a God whom his fathers knew not shall he honor with gold and silver and with precious stones and pleasant things. He'll give homage to it, maybe kind of like a good look or whatever, but he knows he's a dead man walking. He is the man of perdition. And when he goes into that role, saying he's God, he just, that's ultimate death for him. And he knows it, so he's trying to change things, but nobody is bigger than God. Elohim, nobody. Thus shall he do in the most strongholds and with a strange God, whom he shall acknowledge and increase with glory, and he shall cause them to rule over many, and shall divide the land for gain. So, he's going to be giving out these portions and stuff to, the different kings and things like that. And and it's all prosperity. Think of that. If you no longer had to have a tax, or look, you wanted this car, and you say, can I have that car? And you say, yeah, can I have this house? And just also, the world's population is going to go down a lot. So just remember, there will be plenty for all, but you will have a famine and disease and war. And that's not just in America. That's the world. That's how chaotic it's going to be. And at the time of the end shall the king of the south push at the king, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind, with chariots and with horsemen and with many ships. And he shall enter into the adjoining countries and shall overflow and pass over. So this basically is, gaining allegiance with everybody. And people, that's the great apostasy. That's the great gathering. So this is like, here we come. And he shall enter also into the glorious land, and many countries shall be overthrown. See, when that new world order finally gets set up, yeah, you're looking at the whole world joining. And it's no longer like America. It is in the New World Order. The sovereignty is gone because they joined in, just like when Egypt joins in with that. They aren't sovereign anymore of their own. Okay, and he shall enter also into the glorious land, and many countries shall be overthrown, but these shall escape out of the hand, even Edom and Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon. And he shall stretch forth his hand also upon the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape. So that's telling you right there that everybody's going in. How long that lasts, is when you start getting to the very end of it and people's eyes opening up and things like that. It'll be a revelation, and quite possibly at that time, different areas kind of being segregated out. even more than the 7,000, but being segregated out. And this is when you get the bad side and the good side and the dividing, where they then say, okay, in order for us to gain complete control, we have to, because they know that Christ is returning, we have to defeat that. So they get all their armies together to fight this return of the real Christ. But he shall have power over the treasures of gold and silver, so the prosperity thing, and over all the precious things of Egypt, and the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall be at his step. I'll tell you, look how like China is so interested over in Africa and things like that. And China really is very much into building this new world order. I don't know. You really, really can see a lot of examples of that coming up now. And, as far as the mainstream type of media, you won't really hear much, but, there's still truth out there. So, you know, I know for me, when I'm hearing this all the time, bad news, I just have to get out, because it can really get you down. So the best thing to do is just, watch, but don't get entrenched in it, because it's a weird feeling to see all these things happening, knowing they're going to happen, and then they happen. And I feel really bad for people because they've spent their whole lives working for in this system that is going to fail miserably. And then they'll miss that. And when Satan comes in with all this gold and stuff, here we go. Everybody gets whatever, but you have to worship me. They'll want their stuff back and more. You know how people are. So it's going to be really hard to watch. But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Guess what? That's us. Therefore, he shall go forth with a great fury to destroy utterly, to make away many. So he's going to really pump that up and go, I am Christ, and don't listen to that, you know. And he shall plant the tabernacles. And can go into Revelation chapter 13. It's talking about the building of the New World Order. And he shall plant the tabernacles of his palace between the seas and the glorious holy mountain. See, this is where he's going to be, in Israel. Yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help him. Well, when Christ returns, I can tell you what. Nobody can help anybody. It is strictly up to God as to what happens to you. Let's see. Oh, wow. Been on here. Going over to Ezekiel 44. Because someone had asked me about this. I mean, not just one person, but there's some people about the millennium. And really, as far as dividing up the 144,000 and the 7,000, and there is a difference. Although in here it does not say this is the 144,000, but we already know that they're going to go astray. So, okay, chapter 44. I'll just read it real quick. Then he brought me back the way of the gate of the outward sanctuary, which looketh toward the east, and it was shut. And this is the east gate where Yeshua will be. Then said the Lord unto me, This gate shall be shut, and it shall not be opened, and no man shall enter in by it, because Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel, hath entered in by it. Therefore it shall be shut. So this is starting up of the millennium. It is for the prince. We have King David, and it's suggested, and I saw him, King David, being part of this. So, and it is for the prince. The prince, yeah, he shall sit in it to eat bread before Yahweh. He shall enter by the way of the porch of that gate, that east gate, and shall go out by the way of the same. He's the only one allowed to go into that. Then brought he me the way of the north gate. Before the house I looked, and behold, the glory of the Lord filled the house of the Lord, and I fell on my feet. This is like the gate of sacrifice. And the Lord said unto me, Son of man, mark well, or set this in your heart to remember this. And behold with thine eyes and hear with thine ears. See, that's the only way that you're going to be able to get this. It isn't, you're going to have to study and work hard. But the more that you study and work hard at this, the more will be revealed. But you really have to want to do it. Okay, with thine eyes, all that I say unto thee concerning all the ordinance of the house of the Lord and all the laws thereof. Mark well the entering of this house, because he wants it established. This is what is going to be up. Okay, mark well the entering in of this house with every going forth of the sanctuary. So you have the outer walls. Dang, it is pouring out. And then you have the inner sanctuary. And in that, you have this, we've gone over this before, but it's, you have the inner sanctuary where only the 7,000 very elect and the kings and queens of the ethnos and Christ can be in there. And then the outer, you have the 144,000, the choir, all those. And then outside the gates itself, the outer walls, you have the 12 tribes set up. And so everything's going to have order to it, and it's already set up. So this is telling you this is what's going to be happening, And thou shalt say to the rebellious, even to the house of Israel, Thus saith the Lord God, El, O ye house of Israel, that is the 12 tribes. Let it suffice you of your abominations. Well, many of these had worshipped the Antichrist. And really, the time of the millennium is just to learn. And, at the end of the millennium, Satan's going to be released one more time to test you. So it's really learning, growing, and can you pass the test? In that ye have brought into my sanctuary strangers. This is the time when Satan gets there and he's claiming, and you're going to have, him saying he's God and all these people believing it. Okay, uncircumcised in the heart and uncircumcised in the flesh to be in my sanctuary, to pollute it. And the circumcision is of your heart, opening it up. But these are Kenites. These are people putting in the New World Order and all these people following along. When ye offer my bread, the fat and the blood, and they have broken my covenant because of all your abominations. So, it's basically talking about, when we read in Daniel chapter 11 is, when he sets this up and people have had it rough before, they're going to go right along with it, believing the lie. And there's only really just a few people, you might be the only one in your area. So you got to be strong. Honestly, look at the rewards because it is so worth it. And ye have not kept my charge of mine holy things. Who who went astray? But ye have set keepers of my charge and my sanctuary for yourselves. Look at all these mega churches and just not not even talking about scriptures or anything. It just but like towards the end, I mean, you'll see um, how everybody just willingly goes in. Thus saith Yahweh, the Lord Elohim, no stranger uncircumcised in heart nor uncircumcised in flesh shall enter into my sanctuary of any stranger that is among the children of Israel. So, in order to be part of this, yeah, you have to accept. So, when you look at the Antichrist, it'll look kind of like it, like, well, it says in the Bible here you have to, but you can't go to the sanctuary. But how that gets set up, that'll be really interesting as far as when Antichrist is here. I saw a building, but as to, you know, the real location of it, we'll just have to watch. Yeah, and I saw him also sitting really on a throne, on a pedestal. So he's really be soaking that up. Wow. Okay. And the Levites, this is the priest. Okay, as we know, studying, reading the Bible, the Levites just kind of went away. The Levites here is basically the 144,000 that are the teachers, are supposed to be the teachers, that gone away far from me. They did a 180 and went to Satan when Israel went astray. This is the whole world. We're talking about the whole world, anyone living on this earth, which went astray away from me after their idols. They shall even bear their iniquity. So, he's going to demand worship, but, it's a new world religion. It's like, I'm sure there's a lot of things that are going to be happening, a lot of perversion and a lot of things that this this isn't the real Christ, but the deception will be so strong. And you'll have also with the fallen angels, them getting with men and women, like in Sodom and Gomorrah. So I don't know how anybody could not believe that. You know what I mean? How they would just go with that and think, but it's that evil spirit, that deception. Okay, so yet, and talking about the 144, yet they shall be ministers in my sanctuary. This is the outer area, having charge at the gates of the house and ministering to the house. At this point, they're going to be on the outer side, but still in the city. But they're going to be going into the gulf, going into the bad side and ministering to all these people that they you know, and it has to be the truth. They can't, put their own doctrine in, but they'll realize what they've done, and the people that listen to them, I'm sure are going to be very upset with them. Like, you said you were a minister and you deceived me with what you said. So, looking at a lot of angry people. They shall slay the burnt offering, so they'll do like the grunt work and the sacrifice for the people. Okay? What they should have been doing before, the lazy priest, they let the Kenites in, and they shall stand before them to minister unto them. So yeah, they'll be teaching, but they'll be teaching the truth. Because they ministered unto them before their idols. See, they're saying, oh, yeah, that's perfectly fine. That is Christ. Well, this is what they give. But it's not saying that they, are condemned or anything. They just have the more responsibility that you have, the harsher the treatment that you're going to have, because He expects you to learn and to know things. And cause the house of Israel to fall into iniquity. Come on, let's go. Oh my gosh. And your friends and family will go along with it, and you'll be like, therefore therefore have I lifted up mine hands against them, saith the Lord Elohim, or El, and they shall bear their iniquity. You led all of his kids astray. Talk about him being upset with you. And they shall not come unto me. Get it? A lot of people say, oh, when I see Yeshua or Jesus, I'm going to just run up to him and say hi, and you won't be able to, not during the millennium. Do the office of a priest unto me, nor to come near to any of my holy things. So that's the inner area they can't go in the most holy place. But they shall bear their iniquity, they shall bear their shame and their abominations which they have committed. So there's a lot of discipline. There's a lot of learning and teaching and accepting what you did, taking responsibility for that. I mean, it's not just, the 144,000. I mean, you've got everyone within the tribes themselves, it's really just a really time of personal growth and learning and being ready to get into the eternity. But I will make them keepers. Now, this is talking, okay, but I will make them keepers of the charge of the house for all the service thereof, for all that shall be done therein. They're going to have to really work hard. What I had seen, I saw my uncle there, and he's a Lutheran preacher, and he was he was busy all the time. I mean, it really wasn't a lot of rest for him while I was going out of the outer gates to go talk to family and stuff. And they were trying to get out my mom's boys out. And, even if you're given that opportunity to get out, a lot of people won't come out. That's weird. They can't accept the fact that they did something wrong and they hurt people. They don't deserve to be in eternity if that's how they are. And like I said, people are people. You just do not have this this flesh on you. You have your spirit body, but you're freed in a lot of ways, but your soul, your personality, who you are, you know, doing it helps to do self improvement. But the priest of the Levites, the sons of Zadok, Christ himself is the Zadok, but the sons under them are the men and women who were delivered up and who got all the way through all of this that's coming and not worship Satan, that kept the charge of my sanctuary. So while we're here, we're teaching all the way up until the sixth trump, and then the Holy Spirit takes over. But we're planting seeds.